name is Staff Sergeant Boothe with the National Guard. Obviously, I'm a recruiter. I recruit in the northwestern Denver area. I've been a recruiter now for a little over 2 years, all in Colorado. Things I enjoy doing outside of the Guard is basically spend time with my dogs and my wife. So I like to be active, go out to dog parks, go on hikes, work out, and do anything my wife likes to do because she's the boss. So to become a recruiter for me, it was easy. So growing up, my mom and dad were in the military. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money to pay for me to go to college, to do a lot of things I wanted to do in life. So essentially, I picked up basketball. I love basketball, and with that I got a scholarship. So my parents didn't have to worry about paying to go to school or anything like that. From there, I became a basketball coach myself. So I got that same opportunity to, I guess you say, pay it forward, right? Give other people the option to go to school when in other circumstances they wouldn't have the chance to. Once I got off active duty, I had some IT jobs that weren't really fulfilling, and once I heard there was an opportunity to help people by being a recruiter, I jumped on it. Just to give kids that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to go to college, or it would put them in a financial predicament to go to college, gives me that self-fulfillment. It allows me to give back to the community, give back to other kids. So definitely being a recruiter does that for me. What can I do? Well, there's several paths, so it would depend what that person would want and what that person would need. For instance, if they wanted to go to college, I would sit down and talk to them about the options that we have for them to go to school here in the state of Colorado, outside the state of Colorado, what kind of scholarship opportunities we have, federal tuition assistance, if they needed a skill trait, then we'd gauge the conversation towards that. So it's very broad. It's not something that there's a cookie cutter answer for anybody. It all depends on what that person wants and what that person needs. So the minimum age somebody can enlist into the National Guard is 17. All right, so in the National Guard we offer something that's called a split option. So you can be 17 years old and a junior in high school. Basically what that means, we can enlist you around January of your junior year, and you will ship off in May to basic training, and then you'll come back before your school year starts. At which point you'll still be a part of our RSP, our Recruit Sustainment Program, so you'll still drill once a month, and then you'll go to school throughout your senior year. Once that's completed, you'll ship out and go to your job training school, which we call AIT, and then you'll get certified in whatever job you chose in the military. So that's why we allow 17-year-olds to join, because by the time you get fully qualified in the military, you'll be 18, but you're starting your clock towards retirement, you're starting your clock towards promotion, you're also getting money while you're going to school. You basically have 2 guaranteed summer jobs prior to going to college or starting any other job. So the officer slots in the state are super competitive. Based on which branch you want to branch into, and there's a lot of details going into that, but basically you don't get to pick a specific job as an officer, you branch out into a specific field. So it all depends on what's available in the state and what you qualify for, and that'd be something that would probably need more of an interview type situation to see what you qualify for, and then be broken down how the state OCS is ran and how you'll be able to pick which branch you want to go into. Yes, tremendously. So number one, if you do any type of JROTC, no matter if it's Air Force, Marine, Army, anything like that, we're going to be able to promote you. So you're going to make a little more money up front, and then you're going to go up the ranks a little quicker. On top of that, you already know the basic fundamentals of being a soldier because you were a cadet. You're going to know how to march for the most part, salute, rank structure, everything that you need to know going into our Recruit Sustainment Program and our basic training. So it's just going to help you no matter what branch you go to. So for a typical soldier, you're going to work 2 days a month, 2 weeks in the summer. Now that's just our cookie cutter answer. Some months you might do 3 months. Some months you might do 3 days. Some of your ATs may be a little longer, like 2.5 weeks, but then we take off Christmas time. So we'll take off the whole month of December or something like that. In addition to that, it all depends how much you want to gain from the Guard. There are certain times when you can volunteer and do more work. go to schools. It just all depends what you want to get from it. If you just want to go join the Guard to pay for school, or join the Guard to learn a skill trait, and you just want to do the bare minimum, then I would say 2 days a month and 2 weeks in the summer. So currently, yes, there is a $20,000 bonus for 11 Bravos. It is all dependent upon a few things. So one is what you score on your AFJROTC, which is the basic test to get into the military, any branch. And for us, you have to score a 50 to be eligible for any incentives or bonuses. On top of that, you have to graduate from a Tier 1 school, basically meaning a traditional high school that is certified through our programming. But 11 Bravo is not the only MOS that offers a $20,000 bonus. There's right now, currently, I want to say around 15 MOSs that we can offer applicants to get a $20,000 bonus. So again, it would just all depend what you want in your life and what career field you want to go down, and then we sit down and look at all those options. Absolutely. So when you join any branch of the service, it is not for a lifetime, right? It's not for the full 20 years. You sign a contract for either, currently we offer a 3, 4, or 6-year contract. At the end of those, you can either choose to extend with us, get out, or join another branch. Another cool thing with the Guard is you can always go part-time to full-time. You can't go full-time to part-time. So if you love the Guard and you think, hey, I want to do this every day, that's all I want to do for the rest of my life, we do have options where you can transition into active duty. Now, if you go active duty and you think, oh, I don't want to do this every day, but I like doing it on the weekends, you can't transition backwards until you end your contract. So the Guard is a great option for what I say, dipping your toes in the water before you jumping into the pool. So the likelihood right now, I'm not an expert at this, but I would say very slim based on the rotation we're on and the drawdown that's going on. It is all based on the tempo in which we are having to support the actual federal mission overseas. Typically right now we might have 1 or 2 units overseas, and definitely not so much in a combat area, but that changes year to year. So for me to give an honest answer, I would just have to say I honestly don't know. I wish I can give more detail on it, but there is always, what's the word I'm looking for? It's always going to be something for us, right? That's what we do. We join the military to serve and protect the nation, and if we're called to duty, then we just have to answer that call. Stateside deployments, as we call them, I've seen quite a few. So a few years ago with the hurricane in Florida, the hurricane in Houston, in Puerto Rico, Colorado was activated to support that. The wildfires in California, we are activated to support that. The wildfires here in Colorado in the Four Corners, we get activated to support those type of things. So I would say depending on your unit and what your MOS is or your job is, would depend how much you get activated, but again, that's why we join. We want to help people in our community, and when I say our community, not just our neighbors in the state of Colorado, but everywhere across the nation. I do. Every branch, no matter if it's Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, we all serve a purpose. So if you think about it as a machine, right? If one cog goes missing in the machine doesn't operate correctly. There's no one better, there's no worse one. We all serve a definite purpose, and we all ultimately work together to protect the nation and protect our states. So as far as exception to policies go, it depends on what the exception would be, because there's certain ones there are no exceptions. We get requests a lot for exceptions for maybe like what we call moral or law violations, and for the most part, if it's a felony or anything like that, we can't do exceptions. Tattoos, age waivers, things of that nature, sometimes we can do an exception to policy depending on how severe they are. So if you are 34, turning 35, and the cutoff is 35, then we can get exception to policy if before your birthday of turning 35, you're not processed into the military yet, we can get an exception because you started prior to. For certain tattoos, like very, very small tattoos, maybe on the smaller your neck region, right where your collar line is, sometimes we can get exceptions for that. It is all dependent on a case-by-case basis. So a lot of people come to me and say, oh, my friend got an exception to join for this. Well, regulations change constantly. Rules are changing constantly for us because once the need for the military shifts down, then the rules get more strict. Once the need for more service members drives up, then we loosen up on some of those restrictions and we can get more exceptions. So there's no one answer for that. It would all be on a case by case. The best thing to do is just go see your recruiter. They'll look up the rules at the time and let you know if they can move forward. So you can go on nationalguard.com, request information. You can go on Google, just type in National Guard Recruiter. It will pop up numbers. You can reach out on all of our media websites, Instagram, Facebook, several different ways. So you just have to know, I mean, everybody's savvy these days. If you just type National Guard Denver into any type of search engine, you're going to find a way to get in touch with a recruiter.
That's